I had a conversation, I think, with my aunts and my my aunts and my mom probably about 2 years ago. And it's funny, it was the first time they had really opened up about the men on my mother's side of the family. And, I didn't realize that there was mental illness that was a part of the journey.
Wow.
There were a number of wounds that were part of the journey, whereas I just kind of in my head, because it was just not really a discussion, had kind of written them off or put them in certain boxes or categories. I realized, okay, everybody's in context, as I am also. And I'll probably need my children to do that for me at some point in time and show grace to me in that way to say, okay, this is what he had growing up, what he didn't have growing up. And I feel like I've been favored and blessed for the most part, but at the end of the day, there are deficits that we all operate with. And so I'm hopeful that at some point they'll be able to, and I'll probably have to help them put me in context at some point in time.
Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Boom!
Come on.
All right.
What's going
What's
on?
up?
Come on.
This is the Breathe Podcast.
Yes, indeed.
fam.
Yes, indeed.
Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Yes, sir.
Pastor Kirk Nugent.
And David
David
Person.
Person.
David Person's in the house.
Yes.
David Person in the house.
And we have a lot of things in common. One key thing that we have in common is all three of us are dads.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
And so this is this podcast episode is dropping the Monday leading up to Father's Day.
Yeah, Father's Day is
So
coming.
We
Come
wanted
on.
to just talk a little bit about
Yeah,
honoring dad.
yeah,
Dad.
yeah.
Because mothers get a lot of play.
They
man.
get a lot of love,
They
man.
get
I
a
tell
lot
you,
of
man.
love.
Hey,
I tell you.
listen. Hey, listen. As they should.
Yeah,
And they
We
should.
love
they
mom.
should.
We
They
love
should.
mom. We
That's
love
it.
mom.
We would not be here.
No.
were it
That's
not
right.
for mom.
That's
No.
right.
You
Yeah,
know, we honor mothers.
yeah.
We honor what they give.
Mm-hmm.
But we also kind of feel like, well, let me speak for myself.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like dads kind of get the short end of the stick sometimes. Sometimes I feel like we're an afterthought.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, I have no problem with mothers getting the spotlight.
Yeah.
Right.
But let's just
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a little bit of
Yeah.
shine on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pop
yeah, yeah.
stick,
Let
you
some
know?
drops.
Let some drops fall on us.
Oh man.
Even me.
That's
Even
funny.
me. No.
Yeah. So I mean,
Dad life.
You guys agree with me though that
Yeah.
that dads don't always get the credit they deserve.
So
Yeah.
I'll say, well, let me just so that I can go home in peace. That's always goal number one of the
Right. Goal number one.
I need to
It's goal number one.
go back home in peace.
That is hilarious. I love that.
So
I love that. Yeah.
my family, they are intentional under Gianna's direction
Okay.
Absolutely.
of trying to making sure it's a special day.
Okay.
But I do think culturally though,
Yeah.
from a macro standpoint,
Yeah.
I think Father's Day or just dads in general don't quite get the level of intentional celebration, affirmation, and I think the narrative around dads tends to slant just a little bit more negative, whereas kind of the conversations around mom are generally positive. And again, that should not change. That should be the
Right,
case.
right,
But I
right,
just think
right.
for dads, it's a different dynamic. But I just think the role of a dad in some ways is just different from the role of a mom. And that's where some of the little acrimony's probably going to come from as well.
And so digging into that, you're saying maybe because dad has to be the disciplinarian when you got mother and father in the house together, because we also acknowledge in many cases that's not the case. But
That's true.
where it is the case, the father's the disciplinarian, kind of the heavy. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, maybe traditionally, because I think each house is
We'll have their own
different. You got some
dynamic,
dads that are laid back, and
Yeah.
Okay.
the disciplinarian is very much mom.
So true.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I do think culturally, probably in our community, and we'll maybe get into this a little later on, we've had some dads that as a result of a number of systemic pathologies and cycles that probably left their post.
Yep.
Or did not honor their post correctly. I think there's a lot of unresolved hurt and feelings. And then I do think a part of the acrimony is just if in a house the dad operates as the leader, not necessarily a disciplinarian per se, but as the leader, there is just a certain tension that the leader always lives with, whether it's the leader of a committee, a job, a church.
So true.
It's kind of a different tension when you're the leader. And I just think as a dad, you have to live with that tension to a certain extent.
You got a dad.
Gotta be dad, yeah.
But I couldn't agree with you more. I think there is a satanic move at work in the attack of dads as well.
Okay.
So there's some components there that I think that we see at kind of playing out in some of the cycles and rhythms that you referred to.
Very much.
So because of the role that God has given to the dad, to the father, I do believe it is a device of Satan to say, if I can remove that, there's a lot of things
I can mar the image of God in the
There it
minds
is.
of many.
There it is. There it is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, see, that is really that to me opens up a whole closet of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because when the image of the father
Come on.
is marred and twisted, that has so many repercussions.
It does.
You know, and I know for some of us, and I'm going to be real transparent here. For some of us, our relationships with our fathers were difficult because of, you know, and that's not to say, let me be clear. I'm not saying that fathers in these situations, in these scenarios, are necessarily bad people doing bad things.
Sure. Yeah.
But what I am saying is that the impact, you talked about it being satanic, Kirk, and I would even add to that, you know, there's a multi-generational component to that. So if you have a father who's dealing with unresolved stuff,
There it is.
Yep.
and then that father is trying to parent a child, that unresolved stuff is going
shows
to
up.
have an impact on that
is.
child.
Yep.
It will. It will.
And my father's been dead for over 20 years. And I can tell you that I remember clearly, even when my father died, I think when he was 77, even when he was, I think even up to when he was in his 70s, he was still wrestling with unresolved stuff from his childhood.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I can tell you unequivocally, indisputably, it had an impact, not only on him, but it had an impact on me.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a chance to attend the men's conference.
Yeah.
With Myron Day.
Winning circle.
Yeah.
And
Our friend Myron Edmonds.
to a person, that was the biggest,
Yep.
the big, father wound,
Yeah.
the biggest thing discussed and touched on and unpacked.
Yeah.
And people got a chance to really get a frame of reference. Forgiveness. There was just a lot there to talk through. So it is very, multifaceted and layered when we talk about the whole concept of fatherhood and a father and the dad and what it means. And so people approach it very differently.
Yeah.
And just as everybody has a mom, everybody has a dad, whether or not they were there.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
But the other thing, and this is maybe a little lighter, in terms of what creates a little tension around the dad role, is I think mom's work, nurture, care has maybe a little bit more of an immediate impact or fruitfulness.
Agreed.
I think dad's, and I'll speak for me a little bit more, dad's counsel is a little bit more prophetic. So there are some things, so like dad is, it's like when dad is raising you for the world you're going to live in.
Agreed.
Like,
Okay.
so like I'm
This is my
preparing you to
testimony
be
as well.
a man.
Yes.
And it's funny because I'm doing the same thing. It's just like like even Gianna, she is like dealing with the right now and who they are and how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a part of me that's like, we are supportive of one another.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a team.
But I am preparing them in some ways for the world outside of our house.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just certain things like, no, you got to learn this now,
Yeah.
Jaden,
Yeah.
because in 2 years you're not going to be in the house.
Right.
You don't see the importance of this now. And so for me, I came to appreciate my dad more and more once I became a man, because now all of the lessons I can reconcile them. Like why that was so urgent.
Yeah.
And why he was so tough on this, and why it was so important that I not quit.
Yeah.
And like and these are hard, tense, conflict-filled conversations.
Yeah.
Like, and just your youthful ignorance,
Yeah.
and like, or just everything he said about. Not everything. Well, everything he said about women or about this or people, like, or the warnings, like, okay. So
That's
what
what
I'm saying
that
is,
was
so I just
about.
think a father's appreciation in some ways is going to be a little bit more delayed. So like, I tell my sons, I'm like, yo, you gonna thank me one day for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't today.
It ain't it.
But
It ain't
one
today.
day it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And so I think dads kind of parent a little bit more prophetically, and not that mothers don't, because I ain't trying to start nothing, but I just think that's what they have in mind.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking when they're 20,
Yeah.
25,
Yeah.
30, and like if you don't learn it now, like having to learn it as an adult is going to be a much more painful experience.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then so funny. The other thing is, I guess every dad has a different role. I ain't gonna lie, listen, Gianna, she got the okie doke on me on this one, right? And she be planning for Mother's Day year round. So like, even when we both make a hard decision, right, that we know they're gonna like, go, you gonna let them know. Yeah. We both agree.
Yeah.
But then I'm the messenger. Yeah. Everybody shoots the messenger. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. Hey, I figured out she's playing the long game on this.
She played the long game. Like, oh man,
Well, she's got to, and I'll say she's not here to defend her.
Yeah.
So I'll stand up for Gianna. Gianna has to maintain that role as the nurturer.
Nurturer. There you go.
The one giving comfort. So you got to take one for the team.
Take one for the
bro.
team, man. That's it, man. Yeah. I'll get my flowers down the line. Yeah. But I mean, so I just think those are you have the unresolved issues.
Yeah.
And then, like I just say, I think it's just the tension of like the leader of the home, the house band, if it's a husband,
totally
the
agree.
one that's holding it together
That's
and
agreed.
kind of creating an order
Mm-hmm.
and a vision. And I just think it's like, okay, you're not parenting always with immediacy. You're kind of parenting kind of with the end in mind.
And being the protector, I think, requires a different kind of focus, a different kind of plan of action than being the nurturer.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. And I'm not trying to get too what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to be too gender bound here.
Sure, yeah.
Because I understand there are cases where the
very
mother
much.
is the protector and the father may be the nurturer.
Sure.
But I know historically, traditionally,
Generally, yeah.
the men have been the ones who are supposed to be providing the frontline protection.
Yeah.
And the women were always perceived to be the ones who were doing the nurturing. So when you're at the front lines protecting, sometimes you make hard decisions.
You make hard decisions, yeah.
And people may not always
Like that.
understand why I can't do this or I can't
go
do
there.
that.
Yep.
Why I'm not allowing this or allowing that.
Correct.
But it's part of the protection.
Part of the job. Yeah.
being a protector.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
so, there's that statement about leadership, being the leader is not ultimate authority.
Yeah.
It's ultimate accountability or responsibility.
Responsibility.
So, that's just
really
kind
it.
of the part of the tax that comes along with being the leader in some ways. Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Well, let's do a little problem solving here. So one problem that we know can occur, can arise, is that, and we've already alluded to this, that sons in particular, but not always just sons, daughters too,
So true.
can have hurts, father wounds, I think was the term we used earlier.
Yeah.
How do you propose, or what do you suggest for people who, male or female, who are walking around with what we're calling father wounds? How do you think they should go about trying to get some healing there?
Oh man, I think therapy is. I want to just throw that out, immediately to say you need a context, a framework through which to even see it before trying to address or touch it with the dad. I think getting some help. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think that that was one of the things that was espoused at the conference multiple times over. Was like, guys, there's nothing wrong with going and kind of having somebody help you to unpack some of these things. This is very specific. Yeah. And no two are alike. Then it's not group work. This is individual work. Even if you have a sibling, your wound is different from theirs. It's totally, unique. So this is something that you definitely would want to take into a counseling scenario and begin to unpack.
Yeah.
Before Pastor Snell jumps in, I want to ask you one question.
Sure.
Because you were talking about our friend Myron
Yeah.
and this conference. Did you find that the men were receptive to the idea of going to therapy to get help?
Yes and no. So they were not, but there was so much evidence in the room of those who had already done it.
Okay. Good.
And their results.
Good.
And so they, I think they shifted over the course of the time.
Okay.
And I think that's the beauty of being in a community like that, where others have gone before, and you can see the impact, like from one year to the next. And I want to be clear. So you had the father and woman. Then you also had fathers who were reconciling with their sons. Yeah. From one year to the next. So it's so much evidence, as they say, with preponderance of witnesses. You start to realize, like, okay, I'm actually hurting myself by not availing, making this resource available to me, because I could be living a healed life. Yes. But I'm avoiding the stigma, and so there's a lot that the conference has done, I think. And many other spaces, but the current generations as well have done a lot to just kind of shed this notion that something's wrong with you if you have to seek counseling or therapy. Yeah. And so yes and no.
I'm glad to hear that, because I'll tell you, Pastor Snell, I'm a big believer in therapy, and the reason I'm a big believer is because I have experienced it.
There it is.
I have gone to therapy. I spent a good number of years in therapy.
There it is.
Trying to deal with father wounds and other unresolved issues and challenges. And I thank God for it. I absolutely believe God worked through my therapist to help me heal.
And that's a good line.
Absolutely.
God worked
through.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
We kind of sometimes treat them as independent of God, as realizing that they can be vessels.
Absolutely.
The same way a doctor or a pastor can be.
Agreed.
I think the other thing, if I could add to that, because in the amount of time we have, and I do want us to kind of sort through it and be thorough with our dialogue as much as we can. But I think at a certain point you have to look at your parents, but specifically your fathers, in context.
This is good.
So there are just certain men, so there's some who may feel like they did not get a certain emotional support from dad. All they did was work. They did not provide great emotional safety, I guess, is kind of the language. But when you start to look at that dad in his context of what he did or did not get from his father, how he was socialized, what real men do and what real men don't do. Like there's a generation that's kind of, you worked, and what I provide, that's love. Yeah. Not all these words and hug, you know what I'm saying? And that's not to say it's right, but I just think when you understand him in his context or what shaped or provided him. I had a conversation, I think, with my aunts and my my aunts and my mom probably about 2 years ago. And it's funny, it was the first time they had really opened up about the men on my mother's side of the family. And, I didn't realize that there was mental illness that was a part of the journey.
Wow.
There were a number of wounds that were part of the journey, whereas I just kind of in my head, because it was just not really a discussion, had kind of written them off or put them in certain boxes or categories. I realized, okay, everybody's in context, as I am also. And I'll probably need my children to do that for me at some point in time and show grace to me in that way to say, okay, this is what he had growing up, what he didn't have growing up. And I feel like I've been favored and blessed for the most part, but at the end of the day, there are deficits that we all operate with.
Sure.
And so I'm hopeful that at some point they'll be able to, and I'll probably have to help them put me in context at some point in time. And so, whether
Now, when you say that, help them. You
So
mean
by
by
saying-
being transparent?
Yeah. Well, no, by saying, okay, this is what I had. This is how I saw the world.
Yeah.
This is what I was taught. This is what it meant to be a man, or this is what, without going into all the details.
Yeah.
Like what, and so as a result, this is how I approached you.
Yeah.
And this is where I had to adjust when you kind of got around 12, 13, but this is how it started. You kind of get what I'm saying?
love this, yeah.
So I'm saying, I think, I'll have to probably do that a little bit more so. Kind of as they age and as I come into maybe more self-awareness, within myself.
And you are.
And you are.
Continue that journey.
You're constantly doing that.
Yeah.
So I just think we have to look at our fathers in their context. I think that allows us to show them some grace.
I think so.
The same grace I think we're going to need from our children.
Yes.
At some point in time. I think the other thing with that too is I don't know. I don't live in an after school special, but I just think there probably is, if you're grown, there may be some value in trying to restore or try to have some kind of connection with your dad before he's not here.
Yeah.
I've seen people who said the hurt was so great and the divide was so great, and once that opportunity to have reconciliation was no more, that desire or wish that I would have approached that differently became very, very pronounced.
Yeah.
There was even a guilt. Even if they were not the offending party, there was a guilt that I didn't at least make an effort.
Yeah.
And so I just think that, maybe just reaching out I want to say one last time, one more time.
One more time.
And as the Spirit leads you and bathe it in prayer, ask God for wisdom on how to engage it. And part of it is too, man, if your parents are a certain age, there's a certain amount of acceptance you're going to have to embrace.
Yep.
Like, that clay is dry. You know what I'm saying? It cannot be molded, reshaped. Maybe some lessons have been learned, but at the end of the day, like, there's going to have to be a certain amount of acceptance. That's just who mom is, who dad is, and you can try to reshape them in your image, but it's not going to work. And so I just think that's a critical component of just kind of healing certain father wounds. I realize there's just certain things that probably go beyond a certain pale.
Agreed.
But I just think there are just certain things. Put them in context. Try to reconcile where possible.
Yeah. What do you think, as we draw this to a close, what do you think the hardest part of being a dad is? What's the most challenging thing about it?
I immediately, what came to mind immediately was some of the fun things. So that's why I paused. I was like, "What's the challenging thing?"
So I think, I don't know.
No. Go ahead. I'm still mulling some stuff over, but yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, I think it's and let me just say it in context. I think it's the hard part is probably it's probably the discipline component.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny because like my kids don't believe me, just like I didn't believe my parents. But like that's not the fun part.
It's not.
It's a draining part of parenting.
Yeah.
Of saying, I love you too much to let you have your own way on this. I am willing for you to be upset with me, dislike me for the sake of your future.
Yeah.
Like that's not really, man, I would love to just play ball, play video games. We go out to eat and it just be all good all the time. And I'm hopeful that that's the kind of relationship we can have as adults, where it's just, because you got your own house and I got mine.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? But I think just, I think for me, it's just probably, and, we both discipline the kids, but just, I think that's probably the hardest part is being the truth teller. And I think the other thing that's hard, I would probably say, is seeing the potential in your kids that they can't see and wanting them to get it. Like, if you could just see it, who you are and the gifts, and it's like they just can't see it yet. And sometimes you lack the verbiage to be able to express it or help them get it or understand how valuable they are, how smart they are, how much influence they actually have, or how much potential they have. Like, so I kind of feel like it's more like, all right, let me just sow this seed. And let me just water it. I don't see no fruit from it yet. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully one day they'll be able to get it.
No, I agree 100%. The thing I was thinking of was something you said earlier is just, you're as a leader, there's some components you have agreed to take on. And you talked about being the disciplinarian and all of those kinds of things. So those are definitely some of the harder parts of being a dad, but also just watching them grow. So not so you talked about potential, and I love that. I definitely resonate with that. But also just like, man, I guess the hard part for me is just recognizing that like they're 15 and 16 right now.
Ooh.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they were babies. I was holding them like this, and now they're. It's like, wow. So that to me is one of the, rectifying. I remember when I came home from college, my dad had a conversation with me where he said, I'm going to try to transition to treating you as a peer and not, father-child, but I'm going to mess up at it. And it was a great conversation. I'm so glad we had that conversation.
Good for him.
But as I think about like, man, I'm just a few years off of having that conversation. And it's like, my gosh. Where did the time go?
And it's amazing because parenting, it's one of the things that will make you really prayerful.
Absolutely.
It's funny. So, I sit down with young adults in my office all the time, high school students, man, I am full of wisdom, man. It just rolls, man. It just surges forth, man. But it's so funny, but it's funny with your own kids, trying to help them maneuver through the ups and the downs and rejections, and I kind of know what to say, but then you kind of freeze up. So honestly, just trying to walk them through life and kind of trying to know how direct should I be, how veiled should I be, So I just think knowing what to do in any given moment is so funny. Over in this world, I can do it, but in this world, man, I'd be like
because you're emotionally detached.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So
and when you look at the people across the desk from you. You don't see yourself.
Yes,
that's it.
Yep.
That's a big piece. That's a big piece.
And that's the other hard part.
Yeah.
So
it is. So, you about to hit it.
Man, I just read this thing the other day. The things that we criticize in others the most are the things we don't like about ourselves. And I ain't gonna lie, you see yourself pouring out of these kids, and it's just like
it can be scary.
Yeah,
very scary.
And I think that's the other part.
That's that piece.
There are one or two good things, but there's a whole lot. I'm just like, I can't. It's probably like I can't even get mad at you.
Right.
I know where that's coming from. I know where that comes from.
Like you did what? You said what?
Oh man,
never occurred to me that you would think that way. Knowing in my heart and in my mind, it's like
that's me.
500%.
Yeah.
So it's so funny because you try to parent yourself out of your children.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. My goodness.
I do want to say just, before we wrap, just to the dad who maybe you're not married to your child's mom. And that tension can be so sharp and the conflict so heavy that you almost just kind of are ready to bow out of the child's life. I just want to encourage you to stay in the fight. I want to implore you to appeal. And let me just, and there's a part, and I hate to use the term, Myron's been teaching us, I don't want to say man up, but I'm like, she wasn't crazy always. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you didn't always.
think that,
That's
right?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So like that you played a role.
Yeah,
that's right.
In creating a unit that you can't commit to.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
That brings out just a lot of stress and angst that you didn't anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that child is going to need your counsel.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to need your presence. They're going to need your wisdom. They're going to need your love. They're going to need your affirmation. And it is not enough to send a child support check.
Right.
That is the least you can do. Parenting is so like even you got to figure out a way to have a place in that child's life on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Even if your custody is partial, you got to figure out a way to impact that child every single day.
Yeah.
And even if you got to deal with volatility between you and the mom, like figure out a way to soothe it and almost think long term with it.
Yeah.
You got to think like a marathon. Like there is no immediate solve.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just a lot of stages of grief that relationship will have to go through, especially if you all have decided not to be together.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just want to encourage you. It is right for you to stay in the fight. You'll be blessed if you stay in the fight. And when I say you'll be blessed, not like, oh, God is going to sprinkle a blessing upon you. It is the blessing of being a critical role, a critical component of your child's development. That is the blessing in and of
That is
itself.
the blessing.
That's
And
right.
so I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to say baby mama drama ain't real. I'm not saying she is not acting out of sorts. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to run too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying a part of it is, a part of being the man and being the dad is wintering in stormy weather.
I love it.
Yeah.
As somebody
That's heavy.
who has, by virtue of divorce, has been
Yeah.
a single father
Sure.
and separated from the mother of our child, I want to say a couple things on that real quickly as we wrap up. One of the things that I benefited tremendously from was going to a parenting class that was mandated
Okay.
as we were divorcing here in Madison County, Alabama. And the one thing I remember from that class, the only thing I remember is this. The instructor said, it is now no longer about you and her. It's about that child.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to filter everything through what is in the best interest of the child,
Yeah.
not what is good for me, what is convenient for me.
Yeah.
Because we are now placing the child in a situation
Yeah.
that the child didn't ask for.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So put the child first.
Yeah.
No matter what else is going on, no matter how you feel about her or she feels about you, put the child first.
And I think that's great counsel, whether it's a mom who's listening to this
That's
and
right.
you're trying to work through it,
That's right.
or your dad,
Yeah.
put
That's
the
right.
child
Put the
first.
child first.
You got to lay all the adult stuff
Stuff.
aside
Put it to the side.
and prioritize
The child
their
is the
wealth, their health and wellness.
That's right.
So
The other thing I want to share or say is that I think we men, God bless fathers. It's a hard job. I get it. I'm one, all of that. But we men can be, I think, conveniently and cavalierly dismissive of women.
yeah.
And so we may say, because of what we're seeing and how we feel, well, she's crazy or she's acting out or
Yeah.
whatever. But you know what?
Yep.
I guarantee you that in this situation we're talking about,
Yep.
we have contributed
Yep.
to her state of mind.
Mercy.
Yep.
We are responsible
Yep.
Mercy.
to some degree, maybe to a very large degree,
Yep.
to her state of mind.
Yep.
And we also need to see the humanity in her, understanding
That's
that
good,
just
Doc.
like we have
Yep.
wounds that we've carried from
Yeah.
That's right.
childhood
Yeah.
and living,
Yeah.
so does she.
So
She-
does she.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we should not be dismissive
Yeah.
and cavalier about, whatever it is we're seeing in her.
It's just one writer talks about how men in relationships, romantic are projectors.
Yeah.
Women are reflectors.
Wow.
And so when you talk about whatever unsettled, how crazy, that's a reflection of the lack of stability,
Mercy. Yeah.
maturity that sometimes the man has demonstrated in that relationship. She's just revealing that back to you.
Yeah.
You know, so in some instances.
Yeah.
So you know, but listen, I know it's kind of heavy conversation. But I think at the end of the day, what we do want to do is we want to salute the dads as you go into this week.
Absolutely.
And just again, I think we understand it's not easy. It's sometimes the rewards or the fruit can be delayed, but it is worth it. And just for everybody that all the dads who have weathered the storms in a marriage, or you know, as a stepdad, or maybe as you know, in a what do you call it? You know, maybe you and your significant other, you divorced, but you still, you know, played the role in
co-parenting.
Co-parenting, excuse me. Yes, that's what escaped me. But you stayed in the fight, and you gave the counsel, and you prayed, and you were there, and you go to the games. And I want to salute the brothers, because there's this whole narrative about black dads not being there. Actually, that we've created a monster that's actually bigger than actually what the numbers suggest. And so we just, again, affirm all dads of every hue, every background. It is God's work. It is tough work, but we praise God for you, and we salute you as you continue to lead your home in whatever capacity you're leading in.
That's right.
Amen. Yeah, that's good.
So we salute you. Don't give up. Stay encouraged. Also, be self-reflective. Let's try to move towards healing and loving, continuing to love and love better the children in our lives.
Amen.
And the women in our lives as fathers. God bless you, fathers. Have a great Father's Day weekend. You know, go play some golf or
there you go.
whatever your thing is. You know, indulge yourself. Maybe get some extra fries with that vegan burger or whatever it is you're eating.
Come on.
God bless you. And don't forget to stop, pray, and breathe.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debleaire Snell. And sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.